2nd, 2020. So that kind of marks 6 years of ownership for me of my 1972 Chevelle. It's kind of crazy to think 6 years ago my uncle was coming over to give it to me. I had no idea I was going to get a car like this. I thought I was going to get my dad's old 2004 Toyota Tundra. But yeah, it was a real pleasant surprise when he showed up and he threw me the keys and said it was mine. Yeah, so I've had this thing for 6 years. It's kind of crazy to think how many things like this thing has opened for me, and how many like friends I've met, and just everything I've done with this thing. It's just like it's just a car at the end of the day, but I don't know, it means the world to me. Like it's like I drove it all the way to Arizona and back, and did the whole zip tie drags. I've taken it to Hoonigan Burnyard and did an episode, and I used to daily drive it to high school and back, and it's left me on the side of the road a couple times, and it's gotten me it's left me on the side of the road a couple times, but most of the time it's gotten me where I need it to go, and it's just been fun. It's like, if you have an old car, and you know what I'm talking about, where it's just like there's just something about driving these old pieces of shit that you just can't beat. Like, you get into a new car and you just don't feel this. It's just electric steering and everything. The car basically fucking drives itself. You don't really get to drive it. And for me, I don't know, driving's like a little like meditation thing for me. Like, I get in this thing just to go out and enjoy myself, and even if I'm just going to like the gas station and back, like, it's always fun. So yeah, I drove to school every day, and it was kind of awesome. Every time it wasn't there, my friends would give me shit and say it was a piece of shit that was broken down, which was a lot more than I was hoping for it to be broken down. But hey, it's an old car, so shit breaks. And then, so I think when I turned like, I don't know, probably like 17, I got the suspension for it, the Hoonigan suspension for it. And yeah, that's like the first thing I had ever really done to this thing. And dude, what a difference like suspension does to your car. Like, before, it like floated over everything. It was so nice. And when you took a corner, like three-wheeled, and there was so much body roll. And after we did the whole, the Hoonigan kit, it's got everything: front and upper and lower control arms, springs, and rear arms and springs. Everything except for the shocks. I still kept the air shocks because I like adjusting the ride because of the tires in the back. But yeah, that was like the craziest thing for me, and I think that's what like started me to like wanting to start like mod it and do all these things to it. And it kind of, like, before, to be honest with you, I thought pro touring was so gay. I thought it was just like, people like, why would you put 18-inch, 20-inch wheels on your car and lower it so much? Like, I was really the old hot rod guy who liked the stance with the brake and the big tires in the back. Whereas now I totally understand pro touring and why everyone does it, because if you don't do shit to these cars, they drive like shit, you know what I mean? Like, you have to do stuff for them to drive like good, you know what I mean? Like, to keep it on stock suspension and all that stuff. I mean, it's cool if you want to, but I'm not into that at all. I like to modify them. I want them to perform. I want them to feel like as like a new car or better. In this video, I'd probably tell like some of the stories I've gotten from this thing. I can most of the ones are like probably recent, because it's only ones I can really think of right now. I guess the first story I'll share is like when I like kind of like blew it up and like it sat in the garage. So I went drag racing, right? And at the time I wasn't paying attention to the gauges like an idiot, and my 350 basically like melted itself. I think it got like well over 250 degrees. And it was like one of those days in SoCal where it's like 110 and it's 5 o'clock and I'm drag racing it, and I guess like I was just hot lapping it one after another, because I don't know, that's what I used to. I just like drag racing, even if I'm going fast or slow. Like, I used to race my Sonic. If I can find a clip, I'll play a clip. But I used to just fucking, like, if I could drag race, I would go drag race. I was just hot lapping it because I'm trying to beat my best time in my 12-second 8th mile 350 Chevelle, and it was slow as fuck, but didn't matter to me. I just wanted to have fun, and I'm hot lapping this thing, hot lapping it, and it got up to like, I think it got up to like 280 degrees, and I had just finished a pass, and it just shut off. That was it. Never turned on again. I parked it in my backyard. It's funny because I had just like finished high school too, so it was almost perfect timing, because I didn't need a car yet. I was going to college in the summer, but it was kind of like perfect timing that the car blew up when it did, because I didn't really need a car yet. So I blew the car up, sat in my backyard for like a year, probably more like 6 months actually. And my mom and dad bought me a Jeep Compass. I think that's what they're called. I love my Jeep. I still kind of miss it now. But I crashed it on the freeway. I ran into the back of this dude in the like carpool lane at like 70 miles per hour and fucking wrecked it. So I asked my mom and dad if I could spend all the money from the insurance and put it back into the Chevelle. So that's how it was like. That's how we did like the crate motor and all the like really nice expensive stuff on this thing was all the money from the Jeep. And yeah, so slowly but surely accumulated all the parts and then got it swapped and been driving around. And dude, oh my god, if you ever swap the car, my god, my goodness, it is such a nightmare. Like I had the same line from the transmission cooler to like the transmission leak like 4 or 5 times, stating my mom and dad's like brick stating their brick what is it, their brick driveway. So what a nightmare that was. And what else happened? Like my Griffin radiator, like holy shit, I needed to get like 4 of those before I got one that actually sealed. They're good radiators, but I don't know why. I guess I just kept getting lucky, or they kept getting damaged in the shipping, but I kept getting fucked there. What else happened to it? Just kept misfiring. Brand new engine, and it literally misfired for probably like 600 miles because I couldn't figure it out. And we tried changing the plugs, we tried changing the coil, we wiggled the harness, and sometimes it would work and sometimes it wasn't. And what it actually ended up being was one of the grounds on the harness for the injector or for the coil pack was bad. So I guess we just ran new ground and that was finally fixed. Also, this car is so loud, like it's ridiculous. And I've already gotten pulled over a couple times in it for the exhaust. Usually they just tell me to change it and they just leave me alone. Actually, I could probably tell that story. When I was when I was 17, I was coming home, right? And it's a 350, so it's not that loud, all right? It really isn't. They're pretty quiet compared to this thing now. And I got pulled over on, I won't tell you the streets, but I got pulled over by this Asian cop from like Cerritos. And the dude made me pop the hood, searched my whole car, and he told me that it was all modded when it was stock. I think the only thing I had onto it was like a manifold. And I was like, what are you talking about, man? And yeah, he made a big deal. I thought they were gonna tow my car that night. I have a thing at school called like Peel Out Friday. And it was just like every Friday we'd all do peel outs. And then on Monday we'd go and get in trouble at school. Like none of us were like, they weren't burnouts like how I do now. They were like little tiny smokes, but at the time it felt like I was doing a huge one. See, what else did we used to do in it? Like there's a time where me and my buddy like drag raced because he was getting new tires, so we went to go shred them. And I jumped. It was a Miata. I didn't want to lose. I didn't want to show up to school and I lost. So I jumped and made it look like I won by a lot. What else have I done in it? I used to drag race this thing like light to light. Like, because when you have a 350, like you're not even like breaking the speed limit, or at least my tire 350. Like I was putting my foot down and I was racing at every light trying to do burnout skids. See what else. I think one of like my most memorable trips in this thing is probably going to zip tie. Like that was insane. Like we got up, we drove like whatever 700 miles. We drove to like Tucson to stay at Taylor's friend's house, and my buddy gave me an air mattress and it had a fucking hole in it, so we had to sleep on the floor, but better than sleeping at the track where it was 30 degrees. And then we had to drive like 70 miles to the track, and I had gotten to sleep at like 5 o'clock in the morning to try and get the video up, and I didn't, so it was a waste of time. I'm still pissed about that. Here, I'll tell a story that I haven't really ever, I mean, I've told people about it, but like people don't really know too much about it. So when the Chevelle was a 350, it caught on fire. What happened was the fuel line fell off, hit the distributor sparked, and it caught, and the fuel line just kept like oozing gas. Luckily, it's funny because my brother just got his license, so like I had let him drive it like down the block. But he drove it 1.5 miles and it caught on fire. Luckily, it was right in front of my house, so I pulled the hood pins off. Luckily, I didn't have the latch at the time. I picked the hood up and I just sprayed water all over it. Still enough to like, it ruined basically that's what like ruined the paint. That's why it's not gray anymore. That's what like did it, because it ruined, like it screwed the whole hood up. It ruined all the paint on the hood. The paint on the back was going bad anyway, but that's kind of like what like pushed me to get it painted. What a regret. Like I wish I would never painted it, to be honest with you guys. Just kept it ratty and been driving it this whole time. But yeah, so it caught on fire, and dude, that was devastating to me. Like that's the first time the car had ever really been damaged at all. It was just like, oh man, I remember I cried because I was so upset that it caught on fire. And honestly, it wasn't even too bad, just new carbon, the distributor. It melted a bunch of shit. I'll flash pictures up while I'm talking, but it melted a bunch of stuff. I think I had the windshield wiper, like the thing for the sprayers, and it melted a bunch of stuff, and that stuck with me. It still kind of bothers me now that it caught on fire. So when I had that what was it, that ground burn up, I was like having flashbacks. Like immediately I grabbed the the fire extinguisher. Here's a tip: always carry a fire extinguisher and always have it handy, because you don't know when your car is gonna catch on fire. So I carry one of these in all my cars because I don't want to like lose my car. I've seen a couple people on Instagram now where like their Chevelles go up in flames, and fuck man, I can't imagine what that feels like to see like your whole not only like your investment. That's what you gotta tell car people, or non-car people, that it's an investment so you can spend a bunch of money on it. But like it's kind of sucks to see all your money and like your dream basically of like building this car and having fun with it just kind of get burned because you didn't carry a little bit of fire suppressant. I got 2 of these because I'm really worried about this car doing it a 3rd time. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. You guys, I'll think of some more stories and shit of the Chevelle if you guys want to see more videos like this. But yeah, this is the anniversary of me owning for this thing for 6 years. I'll probably do another one of these videos at 7 years and just keep on doing it. I wanted to do one with the truck, but we all know how that went. And then I'll do a little update on the truck. So insurance, it doesn't look like anything's gonna happen right now, at least. Obviously I'm gonna fight it, so hopefully I get some money. But I'm just gonna slowly start just buying everything that I want to do to the truck, and then when I have everything, it'll get done. I'm gonna film like a more in-depth video, basically saying like with all the parts, and like, cause I got an Excel sheet with all the parts and prices and everything, and I'll sit down and do another video like this, or sitting in front of the frame and basically talking the whole thing down and seeing what's gonna happen with it and what my plans are. I know you already saw, if you haven't seen like the video of me going to go pick it up, the frame, it's hilarious. Go watch it. The truck's like, it's as tall as a semi because of the frames hanging up off of it. So yeah, but yeah, 6 years with my Chevelle. Can't wait to see what I do with it this next year and come back and like reflect on it again. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video.